Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to the late Apex, hosted here from the Apex Racing TV esports studio. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me I have David Sampson, and over the next hour or so we'll be discussing the new EA Sports F1 25 game. Disappointments and delays when it comes to R1, Rennsport's esports competition. A little bit more news on Project Motor Racing, some updates as well when it comes to F1 sim racing, which has been coming to a finale for this season, as well as a few other updates as well. How are you this Thursday afternoon, David? Do you enjoy your Thursday afternoons?
I do, but I'm always thinking about what I'm going to eat after the podcast. It's become...
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to be balancing things up.
Is it not set? Have you not got something already?
No, I'm waiting
it's
for
up
you.
For grabs.
You use my inspiration.
Shall we
lately.
do a poll?
What, on what I should eat?
Yeah, if you think... Well, we've got one thing already, cheeseburger pizza. Anyone who... And any
now, Teague knows me well.
Yeah.
But it's ruined me. Because
Sure.
now when I go out for a pizza, my brain goes to it, and then I sense disappointment, and I'm like, oh, what shall I get as a backup choice?
Sure. Well, any podcast listeners, if you want to leave, leave a rating preferably, but don't actually say that the podcast is good. Just say what food David should eat next week, and we'll follow that.
Yeah,
That's
down.
Good. I think that will help us in the charts. Let's discuss. Well, let's go from the top of the notes, and actually the title for this podcast as well. EA Sports F1 25. We have got a trailer for it.
I haven't seen this, so it will be reactions from me live.
I think you will be impressed.
Oh.
Or, yeah.
I thought all they changed is put Hamilton in a red shirt.
I think it's gone from being all out, all risk. Now it's a marathon, not a sprint.
So I'm going to be buying this. I buy them all.
Yeah. How much have you driven of 24?
The least of all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them I've got thousands of hours in.
But I mean, these trailers are incredibly impressive. I mean, it's a level above everyone else.
I agree. Yeah, we need to go back and do our... we did a tier list on broadcast quality. I don't think we gave F1 credit. Why are they showing it from cockpit cam, though? No one ever drives in cockpit cam.
That's an option? What?
Yeah, I know.
Remember, we don't beat Red Bull by
Oh, breaking points back.
Focus on the bigger picture.
So yeah, like their
story mode.
Story mode, yeah.
What do you mean they come out the picture and you're supposed to
reverse tracks now? That's one of the new additions.
Reverse?
Reverse tracks.
No, mate.
Not at all the tracks, but some of the tracks.
I ain't learning more tracks. I'm at the age now where I just don't want to learn anymore. Is Hamilton playing on a controller?
You know how your story
Yeah.
ends. Think again.
Oh. Again, he's very anti-sim racing, right? What we do.
Pre-order F125 now.
Because obviously that's been the direction of travel we feel, especially with 24, was people saying the handling's getting worse, but the majority of people saying the handling's getting better because you've been doing it wrong. It was the controller users that are really happy with the direction of everything going, and the wheel and FFB users that are like, what is this? Especially at the, I mean, we all saw the Yarno videos where he was taking some of the corners 100% throttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously he's pretty skilled and he's using some clever trickery in the wheel, but, and obviously all the controversy we saw with, I mean, this was so clever. I love it. People mapping their brake pedal to the brake controller button for, was it throttle? Which way around was it? Throttle for assists. You were getting almost traction control assists because you wasn't actually using your throttle, but you were, but 50% on your throttle pedal was 50% on the game controller one.
Right.
Genius. Genius. Obviously, we had the FPS scandals. Most of the scandals are because of the division between controller and wheelbase. I mean, it looks good. I would say the last one was their biggest flop in a long time. From our side of things, I have no idea. I'm sure they made millions of pounds.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not sure if there's much of a correlation between how good the game is and how many they sell. It's more of a how popular F1 is at the moment.
Correct.
That's the defining factor. So yeah, they're absolutely raking it in. So yeah, in terms of the reverse grid, reverse track layouts, reverse grids would be cool. That's probably already a thing, to be fair. But reverse tracks, we've got Silverstone, Red Bull Ring, and Zandvoort confirmed. There
Most
could be
people can't do
others.
Silverstone the right way round.
I've heard. So I think who was it? What company did Matt Gallagher used to work for?
WTF1.
I think it was WTF1 did a ranking out of 10 for each F1 circuit in reverse, and they said that Barcelona becomes the greatest circuit in the world in reverse. A lot of tracks don't work, like Spa apparently doesn't work, and other circuits don't work. Feel free to Google that. It's a good article.
Spa.
And apparently Catalunya is just epic.
Probably better.
Reverse. Yeah. Well, I think it'd pretty much be the same. All the corners are so like steady radius.
Right, gotcha,
that
yeah.
You sort of just go into it, but I think you'd have a real nice. I really like Barcelona as is, so yeah. Hopefully that will be added.
So
it'll probably be drops before soon.
Fun fact: peak pandemic, I drove for that team, the WTF1 team.
Oh yeah.
Which was I honestly thought this was it. My career's about to blow up. I mean, sure, it keeps. Then the pandemic ended, and everyone forgot about me, and everything just went back to normal.
Well, yeah, Matt's now doing the F1 sim racing commentary.
Yeah, exactly.
You're here next to me. So
Brilliant.
decide for yourselves who won. There have been updated laser scan tracks using LiDAR, which is the system that all our games use, like iRacing and ACC.
Because some of their track scans have been super questionable on where corners, like I'm not even talking about the curbing and the background. It looks brilliant, but just when the corners turn, just something feels unnatural to the tracks
like
we
the
know.
width of the circuit often. It's like I'm not totally familiar which ones are bad nowadays, but the one that used to be big one for me was Montreal, where some of the corners would be like 50% faster than normal because the track's much wider, and because sort of it just the corners don't match up. So yeah, it's a very big thing. They have made updates to the My Team mode, which is where you have your own team and you're like a driver manager. And so you have to, I think, basically set resources, but also drive for yourself, pick a teammate as well.
Have they still got the whole, you get your own apartment and you...
So that's something, that's like the supercars stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no word about that. I mean, really, we're taking most of this information from the trailer. I also got some information as well from traction.gg. But yeah, the My Team mode hasn't really had many updates for a long time, so that would be good.
One thing that stood out to me that I am pleased about, but it's unfortunate for a lot of people, is they dropped PS4 and Xbox One support. Now, why is that a positive? It's because when you deliberately hinder your game on day one by what features and resources and RAM and dev time you allocate, cutting that out immediately gives you a better base. And it means they're not just regurgitating the same again.
Yeah.
I mean, they may very well be. They may. This might be.
But now there's one less excuse to do so.
Correct, yeah. But let's hope. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be a success. I'm sure it's going to be fun. It's just, will it appeal to the sim racing crowd again? Because it's been a very long time. For me, the last time it really grabbed hold of me was a long time ago when you had all the classics, the classic cars, the classic
2013.
Yeah.
It's widely regarded as the best one, I think.
That was epic. And then so they started to embrace the online modes, but it just never got past the mark where I would want to do more than 5 of these in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame.
There's the return of the Breaking Point story. So that's in the past, they've done a couple of different versions of it. So I think this is the 3rd one. And the first time you were like a young driver and you got a horrible teammate and you got to like overcome that and get into F1. I think this is actually the 3rd and a half one. Apparently the first one was so tiny that it barely counted. But it's like the 3rd and a half one. Then the second one, you like played as the antagonist, I think, from the first one. And then this one, it's linked to the original characters, but it's bringing some new characters, and I think you're playing as a new person. So that is that element. Also, they've included some you may have seen at the end of the trailer. They were like, "And who's this?" And it was the livery of the PECC GP car from the F1 movie that Brad Pitt and co are in. And so I think you'll be able to play like F1 movie.
As Brad Pitt.
As Brad Pitt.
Brilliant.
Which, of course, is what we all want to be, Brad Pitt.
Correct.
So, so yeah, you can maybe reenact scenes from that film.
What, drive around at a track pretending to be a different track?
It sounds like...
Well, they let me do that.
They are all at the same tracks.
Yeah,
that's
true.
what they've been doing for the last 2 years.
True.
What we haven't talked about this much. I'm really looking forward to it because I do enjoy doing this podcast. However... I'm a massive movie fan, and so ultimately, I mean, hopefully I'll have a monopoly over all podcasts. I'll be in all podcasts eventually, but I would like a movie podcast. And so when F1 comes out, this is going to be my dream, basically.
Yep.
So are you looking forward to the F1 movie?
I am, yeah, of course, but then again, I was excited for the Netflix series and the audience it would bring.
What Drive to Survive?
Yeah. And obviously, to me, it's the single word. It was financially amazing. F1 isn't a sport anymore. It is now a show. And love or hate it, that's propelled my favourite sport into the stratosphere. But it comes with all the issues. We now have this big, you love one team and one driver philosophy, which was just never there in F1 for the majority of my life. But I'm really looking forward to the movie. I am. Yeah, of course. I watch all the... I haven't watched the sim racing GT.
Gran Turismo. Haven't seen that either.
Yeah, because I'm not paying for it. I'll watch it.
It's quite long.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours 20.
I'll watch it.
Which feels too long for that movie. But yeah. And I'm someone who watches 3 hour long movies, but 2 hours 20 for Gran Turismo seems long. 30th of May 2025 is when it gets released. So yeah.
But no, I mean the movie and the game in synergy when May release, it's going to be big for them again. I'm sure it's going to make lots of money. I just hope it's something I like firing up in my rig, because I mean, it doesn't actually. I might get called out on this. It doesn't support triples. It does work across triples. Yes, I'm aware, but in that limelight, so does Rennsport.
Sure,
but it doesn't have. The word has gone from my brain. The ability to adjust your field of view correctly, whether you get the angle support of your monitors. Yes, you can have triples, but it looks very odd and always has. And I don't see that changing. But with the advent of VR, I figured it would, but it's just, we'll see. We'll keep a close eye on it. I'll drop loads of money again, play Breaking Point, and...
Is it going to be 60 quid?
Well, you got to buy the Icon pack.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you want to be Brad Pitt. So,
I'm going to spend like the 129.
Yeah.
I'm going all in. I always do.
So moving on, Rennsport or R1 was delayed last week, unfortunately.
Last minute as well.
Last minute as well. So it should be back tomorrow.
Wow, you sound positive.
No, no, I mean, to be honest, yeah, no. In my mind, I know more than what I can say.
Correct.
So I'm just thinking.
Correct.
Right now,
I was just chatting about it, and I don't know.
I know a lot, and so I'm just thinking, Sam, don't be an idiot. So apologies if my enthusiasm is waning, but it'll be good. We discussed this a lot last week anyway. But I mean, the good news is for us is that, of course, John was very ill last week, and I mean, barely capable of getting in a rig. So this week he should feel a little bit better.
He sounded awful.
Oh, dreadful, yeah. Which I mean, I think there was an element of it because I mean, there's a lot of pressure. It'll be his first race, but I think there was an element maybe where it was like, well, this takes the pressure off even more. Where like I really don't need to do anything here.
Sure.
Whereas maybe there's a bit more, but I think after all, he's competitive. He wants to do
He's
well.
an animal. I mean, he hasn't competed at the top level in almost as long as I've been sim racing. You realize that? It's that kind of divide, isn't it?
Mm.
He was tippity top pro and he just disappeared.
Yeah,
Now he's-
21 rallycross champion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's always been fast. So yeah, I'm excited to. Obviously, it's tough. We've seen the new guys come in and how hard it's been for them, especially season one, no matter who they were. So yeah, I'm rooting for him. Let's see. We've got a lot of changes now. Was it first rounds at Spa?
Yeah.
We've got the Aston Martin in there now. No, Audis, I assume.
To be honest, I can't remember. I think there are though.
Oh,
but
I'm not sure.
Yeah. By the way, it's on the Rennsport channels, I think.
GG. Rennsport_GG.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. It's not on the ESL channels anymore.
No.
So make sure to.
It's a bit of a shame
you
because they
get
built up
lost.
a good audience over there with all the. Now it's.
Yeah, all those 50 people, all those bots.
17,900, and now the new one is 900. So.
Yeah, but did that 17,900 count for anything? I mean, to call us out, arguably on Apex Racing TV, we haven't got many people watching this. We've got 17,000 subscribers, so I'm not sure that's really serving us too well when it comes to this broadcast right now. But
it was in a short time, and yeah, there were questions over the botting. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's a niche tournament, and obviously this isn't. We're not starting with a LAN. We're starting with a online championship, and it was always the LANs that could bring in the numbers.
Yeah,
But-
still the same number of rounds as was planned before. It's just everything's been moved back a week. I think there might even be a double header or something as well. Project Motor Racing.
Again,
I've got a new car. They're drip feeding us little information. This one, well, they were announcing a car, really, but then they sort of announced a track as well. Because whilst this image here, as everyone knows, is clearly at Moss Sport, at Moss Corner, this image, now, I wouldn't know what circuit this is, but it's Kyalami. So Kyalami
okay.
will be included in the game.
well, I remember I mentioned this when he completely flexed when he was asked like what cars, what tracks, what would be missing, what would be there, and he was just looked the guy in the eye, and was like everything, like all the tracks, all the major cars. I was like, okay, mate. But he's showing off some tracks. He's showing off some cars. I'm excited for this. Will we ever get it? And how are they going to deliver it? Are they going to? Is this going to be in early access after all these years? Like, because then it's weird,
Because
right?
Project Cars was early access for like, I want to say like 3 or 4 years, I feel like. But this feels quite different to that.
And we know he has aspirations on the whole iRacing side with. I mean, like I say, I always liked because no game has ever mentioned iRacing like that. They've always just, it's almost like they want Gran Turismo 7 numbers and they want, like I said, of course, diversity. But he was like, we're using iRacing as the gold standard for the online competitive side. So I'm excited. Let's see. And they've talked up their force feedback so much. We've seen that like Adrian Newey, we've seen the Stig, we've seen cinematic videos. Like they are going all out. The Hertz numbers they're mentioning, like everyone's like, 360, 480, 520. They're like 700 and and the ABS will be in sync, and they're showing off all the. They've showed off all their like car analysis on how the dampeners and the ride heights and how it's affecting the geometry of the tire and heat. And every picture, I mean, some of the pictures they've shared though, the grass looks better than I've seen grass look in real life.
Yeah.
So I want to see the finished article.
On a slight tangent, I was driving in the Pro Mazda yesterday at Jerez, and I found a weird thing where if you put enough force feedback on, the force feedback would turn off. So I'd be turning around a corner, and like more and more pressure on the left side. Like so, you can imagine Jerez turn 4, the long right-hander before the back straight. So turning. Then just at the end of the corner, the force feedback would basically just turn off on the exit. I think it's like an old car thing.
Maybe,
basically.
yeah. And you're hitting the safety. There's iRacing's added
maybe it's that.
like the max safety limit.
But yeah, it felt like it was at absolute max force. I haven't had it at any other circuit in that car, but yeah, just a weird thing. So yeah, Mosport, Lime Rock, Interlagos, and Sebring are the confirmed games, or or confirmed tracks. At least the tracks that they've shown in screenshots and stuff. I think this isn't really news, but I just felt, or maybe it just clicked in my brain. This does maybe feel a little bit worrying in terms of this is a game which Ian Bell in particular wants to make, maybe the other developers want to make, but maybe doesn't have much mass appeal. Because I think we've discussed this before, but is it the Lister?
Yeah, the
that keep on
cars
going up, and it really does seem like, oh yeah, we love V12s. Oh, we love these cars. Not many people do. I mean, like, this is not like the audience that is going to have any sorts of appeal. If you recreate the 2001 GT World Challenge or whatever it was called back then, some people will like that. But like, you look at, I don't know, Race Room, they've recently got is it the Super Grand Tourers or something, like the DTM cars from the 90s, and the BTC cars as well from the 90s. And some people love them, but that's like a fraction of what is quite a small game.
Yeah.
You can't
It is a
build
shame.
You need, like, obviously, I'm not saying that they should just do GT3s like everyone else, but they can't expect anyone to actually play the game really if they're really just focusing on a niche element.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this effect with the GTEs. Before iRacing killed the GTEs, we killed the GTEs when we realised they were not, they were being retired real life.
Yeah.
It was
GTEs were very popular for a time.
That's all I ever drove.
Cars. Yeah.
And then we all stopped. Before iRacing cut them, iRacing gave us a couple more seasons of ESS, because at ILMS. Admittedly, it didn't help because LMP1s were dying out and GTEs were announced that they were going to be pulled real life. But yeah, like you say, we are fickle, are us sim racers, on realism and the cars we choose. I was just scanning through their website, and yeah, that telemetry thing I showed off, I think we've shown this before, but like I say, they have a whole page dedicated to showing off their hard work on accurate FFP taken directly from the tie rod, all in caps, like 10,000 hertz. They like modular drivetrain running at 7,200 hertz, supporting all clutches and they're shouting this. It's all in caps. There you go, 720 hertz force feedback. They've shown this there's a whole video showing them go through different cars and like I say, like they show it driving around the track and all the telemetry and tire data and contact patch and analysis that goes in. I mean, they're going. I tell you what, if I get in it, it drives like absolute floaty rubbish. I'm just going to be really. Yeah. If it's all
like,
that,
what have you done?
Yes, if it's just floaty and I barely hear the curbs but yeah, like Sam said, everything is about this Lister.
Yeah. Jonathan Grabowski, welcome to everyone in chat. Saying is for those of us who want a modern GTRT. I play a lot of GTRT.
Yep.
And it's a very good game. However, I'm not sure if there's that many people who want a modern day GTRT. Not enough to make it a commercial success, I feel like. And yes, welcome to Matty Chambers. Thank you for the kind words, Matty.
That's a nice picture. They have got some stunning visuals. I like throttle wear.
They were showing some of these cockpit like images a few years ago, and yeah, the amount of detail is quite something.
Yeah. I just want to get my hands on it. And I say, if I feel any floatiness, I don't care if they say early access, because they've been saying these shouty words for years now.
Yeah.
So if early access is bad, then what on earth was the stick there for?
Sure. Yeah.
I will not be kind.
Moving on to F1 sim racing. I haven't really caught much of it today or the late race yesterday, but this is the final stretch, I believe, of the season. And Jarno Opmeer was having a very good time with it. He managed to win at Mexico City. I got a trawl through their Twitter or X, sorry, and found this very good overtake.
Yeah, I watched a lot of this. There was no controversy or anything.
Well, at this point, there was pretty much no controversy. Opmeer managing to take the lead and managed to hold on to the end. Apologies.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to talk about?
Well, there's one more thing here which was really cool, which was the Interlagos qualifying. Which you don't really get that much in our sphere. But this
this was close.
Idowu managing to go to the top.
Matching lap times.
Longley only goes to 4th. Next up is Opmeer.
Look at these lines they take.
Opmeer goes to the top. Rasmussen matches him to 1,000. And then Joris Krozen in the Haas goes to the top. But then this man, Thomas Ronhaar, manages to beat them all by a comfortable few thousands.
Yeah, I mean, racing was good, but there was, I mean, it blew up on Twitter.
Opmeer won at Interlagos in the wet, and then pretty much, what was it, Qatar? Then it started kicking off, or
I can't remember. I spent more time reading about the drama.
Reading about the race, not the race. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jarno called out Ronhaar about his overtaking, because it is a bit different. The rules in F1 prohibit dive bombing, even if there's no contact. If the driver has to deviate from their line, that's a penalty, which is, I mean, it's harsh, right? If you avoid me, well,
but you got to
I get a free.
Strong sorts of black and white things when it comes to these events.
Yeah, so I think Ronhaar ends up picking up 3 or 4 1-second penalties for basically all of his overtake. I mean, they were awesome. Yeah. The commentators were losing their mind. They were good, but I mean, one of them was touch and go. But yeah, there was a lot of drama on Twitter after the race, which is very F1 esports. It all blew up and then it all disappeared again.
Sure.
So if you're ever interested in F1 drama, you do have to screenshot it. It always blows up and then they get DMs from their teams like, don't do that.
Yeah. We're paying you $100,000 a year here to play video games.
Correct.
Just don't cause problems for us.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I think the damage has been reduced or it's off. Because so the problem it creates is if you know it's a 1-second penalty for doing something like whatever. I'm not calling out Ronhaar, I'm just saying in general, the type of racing it creates. Isn't it better to get a 1-second penalty and you definitely don't have any damage than stay behind? Like, it creates this awkward driving. But the racing was good. I mean, I've said this before. If you want to watch an esport event and actually watch the best drivers in the world, the Rasmussens, the Ronhaars, and all these people battling and actually racing, then there's nothing better than F1 esports.
Yeah,
nothing.
We put it at the top of our tier list a couple of weeks ago. I recommend checking that out. I made a shorter video on it on the YouTube channel.
Rennsport qualifying, for sure. The qualifying is so close and the best driver nails it. But then the race just finishes that bit off. Whereas F1 esports, qualifying, you can be anywhere and finish anywhere.
Have a bit of rain in there as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be very fun. So I'm not sure. I think Opmeer was basically on the verge of winning the championship. So I think he's... Is it over? I think there's still more events today.
There's... Yeah, there was a 22-point deficit, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so,
To Ronha? I think Ronha was second going into the weekend.
yeah, Otmir over Ronha is about 20 odd points.
Yeah, there you go. So Otmir 21 points now.
But
Farsi still
those
with a small
penalties
chance.
did cost Ronha quite a few positions points overall.
Sure. Yeah, so in the Qatar race, which is the one that I didn't mention before, Broman managed to win ahead of Longley, and Farsi Ronha did beat Otmir but not by much.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the rest. I say I enjoy watching it. It's my guilty sin, whatever the phrase is. I enjoy watching the best battle because there are some overtakes. I just don't agree. I know black and white's the rule. Oh, have you got one there?
Well, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, this is one. This is one. Look, that was a penalty.
Interesting.
Yeah, go back. Just we caught it. So this was a penalty. There was 3 or 4 of these. Yeet! And look, he stays far enough right for me.
But there is a bit of contact there.
Yeah. But, I mean, whose apex is it now?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But he got done under the dive bombing rule here. Yeah, there was quite a few of these. If gap, Ronha was in a... I love Ronha. I'm a big Ronha fan. Oh, you got another one.
There you go.
This was the dodgy one, for sure. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was a gap. Yeah, so there's like 4 of those, and yeah, that one was questionable. What one have you got now? Now, now you know why I spend more time after. Which one was this?
Absolutely nothing at all. Up and under move. Rasmussen went all in trying to claim it. Ronha gets back ahead. It's Otmir ahead of Ronha. Game on for the
Yeah, I think he got given
streaking clear. Jarno Otmir moving clear of the pack. Hardy wasn't able to hold him.
I hate this look back rubbish.
Yeah, like what is this direction? Oh, or is it? It's done by the drivers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a huge production to pull this off.
Yep.
And all of this scrapping. This is absolutely dramatic stuff now. They've cost themselves.
Yeah, it's such good racing.
But Ronha is in the pack. Rasmussen is through to play rear gunner.
For those who don't know, who are watching now, Freddie Rasmussen is, I mean, pound for pound, one of the best sim racers on the planet, right? Top 3 in anyone's chart.
Mm.
Yeah, really good. Now you know why I spent 3 hours on Twitter. And then the drama, all the drivers on there arguing, then poof, quiet again.
Sure.
Yeah. I've got screenshots. So yeah, but I've decided something. It's only you that calls it F1 sim racing.
Yeah.
It's only
Oh,
you.
yeah. I'm the one person. Yeah.
It's called F1 Esports.
The commentators calling it F1 Esports.
They're stupid. They're either being paid, I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not on the books. No.
Correct. You're the only person not on the books calling it. That's what I meant to say.
Sure.
Yeah. Just thought I'd let you know.
No, I was sort of half aware. So yeah, I'll keep going. Simucube have got their tune now. I'll hand this over to you.
Yeah, so for a very long time, we've had the True Drive app for the wheelbase. It's been around for years, as long as the wheelbases have been around, and it's the software I've been using and all of us use. It's been improved over the years, and then we got the paddock interface built in where we could share and upload profiles. But then the fancy, very expensive pedals came along. They built new software. Don't know why, but I suppose because the wheelbase software had been built just for wheelbase. So they built themselves pedal software just for pedals. But with a much cleaner interface, with the idea of potentially down the line adding hardware. So this app was built in mind with more hardware. Obviously, they were kept really busy with the pedals. But obviously, they've got their wireless wheel out there as well and their wheelbases. But after a very long beta phase, or this might still be a beta, I'm not sure. Let me just check the terminology. I think it's out of beta. The Simucube Tuner 2.5. Control your wheelbases, active pedals, steering wheels, everything all in one place. They've added automatic profile switching, which is pretty cool as long as it works. Where you don't have to remember, like the ultimate settings or something. They've added profiles for a bunch of the Redline drivers. It's down here somewhere. But yeah, so you can select the piece of hardware. But what they said, they're going to actively maintain the software I use, the True Drive software, but any new features will only be coming to the tuner. So, I mean, I've never used the tuner. I'm nervous because obviously everything works. I don't want my wheelbase to do anything new. I just don't want it to not work.
Yeah.
So I am nervous for sure. But yeah, so this software is going to replace all software. You can import your profiles and then, yeah, you'll have the whole paddock experience. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, every app is going this way, and I understand why it's taken phases because, yeah, so they were all wheelbases. That's all they were. So when the pedals came out, they didn't think to bring over the entire wheelbase software and add pedal. They just focused on pedals, but now they're unifying everything. Oh, here we go. Here's the you have Sam Queta's GT3 profile, Diego Pinto's GT3 Cup profile. It's a weird terminology for it. Vecchio's GT3 profile. And yeah, so I mean that's a nice touch. That shows off the power of their paddock software.
I remember when the active pedal came out, and Tony Kanaan did a video on it.
Yep.
What do you think that? How easy is it to get his profile? Because I remember he did like a video where, okay, I'm going to adjust this a little bit.
Yeah. You just type in the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at his wheelbase profile, search Kanaan, click on it. At the bottom, you'll see my name because he just renamed my profile.
Okay, sure.
Which you can do. His gets downloaded more, which is weird.
Oh yeah.
Strange that.
Yeah. I mean, you're high iRacing, right?
Oh
That's
yeah,
what people should
way
be going
higher.
by. It's like, oh wow, this guy's 5.7K. Oh, I need to get this guy set up.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it. Let's see, and then obviously if they've got any other products on the horizon, this will be adding. But they're adding the red line profiles. That was a nice touch to get people to move over.
I think that's always something that can be tapped into in terms of the people are idiots, and so their natural reaction whenever they can't do something is it's because that other person has got an advantage. So whenever you can match your equipment to someone else's equipment, there's always that incentive of that could be it. That could be the change that I need to give me that extra. It might just be half a tenth or something.
I've had the pleasure of sitting in an 11K rig, a 12K rig, a 10K rig. Like I've sat in all the drivers' rig. I mean, I can't get in Pete's. I cannot get in.
Is it just too close?
Yeah, there's no way in. Obviously, I'm a little
taller,
stronger, more muscly, taller as well. I've never been in Pete's rig.
Sure.
Seriously. And yeah, when you sit in these rigs, like, oh, I get to experience the pedals and the force feedback. This is it. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
It just feels wrong because it's not yours, and you don't go quicker. And then you realise it's the driver.
Yeah. It's the same with like setups and stuff, isn't it? Like you get the pro setup and you start going slower. And it's like, oh yeah, because it's not like.
100%. I have access to like the pro setups. Why don't I run them? Well, I can't. I can't do hairpins in them.
Yeah.
Because they turn like this. I've never done that in my life. I turn for corners. Pros don't turn for corners.
Yeah.
They let the instability of the setup do the driving for them. I'm good.
Yeah.
I've got my own instability to deal with. So yeah, actually on that note, Fanatec, which for forever have had their Fanalab software. Now I figured this story would be good because it looks like the Simucube software. Well, all the Mozart, they're all doing this. Like we just got through discussing with Simucube, this is Fanatec's attempt at their own piece of software for managing hardware, managing profiles. This looks very SimHub along the bottom. But I welcome it. If they're going to redo their software and make it more intuitive, shareable. I don't know if they did mention about profile sharing. They mentioned about importing. No mention of sharing. What a shame. But yeah, let's see. I'm sure that will come. There's not really a lot to talk about there, just that also Fanatec are eyeing up the same thing because their Fanalab software is really old, very clunky. It was a annoyance for me. I fire up the rig, I'm going to go stream, and no wheelbase detected. And then people are like, oh yeah, just roll back. roll back my firmware. Okay, why though? It was working. I roll back my firmware and reboot, and it's there. And okay, cool. But I don't need this in my life. So hopefully this is good.
iRacing, I've got a patch.
Yes, that dropped today. It is already out. It is already upon us.
Let's see what is in it. The main things, I think, main thing for you, lighting, you reckon?
Yep. If you read the top line of the lighting out for us under graphics.
Solar flare intensity has been reduced. We still do not recommend staring into the sun.
So yeah, lighting's had a complete overhaul. Again, this will be the third attempt, but they're promising reduced flickering, less bright, more consistent, less dark. Let's see, because obviously these are words, and I had a quick look at this because of Lewis was making some photos. It did still get quite dark. Like,
sure. Yeah, it's the contrast, isn't it?
I don't know. A cloud goes overhead and it goes eerie dark. But I think that's just where they're phasing it. Like, we don't have the proper lighting model with the new engine where light's going to be refracting off every object, increasing the. I think we've got the dark. Like, the clouds now work, but the problem is that's causing a big issue with brightness levels.
I like the look of reduced reflectivity for a variety of smooth and shiny objects.
Yeah,
I thought that was the most unrealistic. I'm not sure about, like, when it comes to the sun shining through the windshield. I've seen that in other sims before, and in real life I can appreciate that is probably a massive issue. But yeah, the reflection of the actual circuit of
It's
like
been
a
so
dull
shiny.
grey track is like, no, on like not a particularly warm day. It's like, I don't think that should be the case. So that's good.
And like, I don't know if you've seen a damp track. I haven't checked it in this patch, but say yesterday, a slightly damp track goes matte black, like super dark.
Okay.
Forget seeing breaking points. Very weird. So all these consistencies just need ironing out, because I question what we've gained from all of this. For me, like, they keep all these little patches and like it's going to fix everything. But my point was, what did I gain? Like, what have we? I seem to have less FPS. The contrast levels seem broken. It gets too bright or too dark.
Yeah.
Remind me again. Like, what was the selling point? Like, why did we do this? I've lost cohesion with what we gained. For me, it's been hit and miss. They're addressing the MSAA. Again, I thought I was just banging my head against the wall on my own with this, because, I mean, Lewis is the only person ever to mention to me, like, David, can you look at my computer? Because he takes all these high-quality photos. Something doesn't look right. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're on MSAA 8 sharp. It's as high as it can be. It's just not good at the moment. So let's see. I just think this might be a precursor for what's needed to change. Well, we had this with the sound, if you remember. We had the 2 sound engines for a long time. X audio, and that was because of what was coming with and what they're working with on Reverb. So I assume this is just a needed housekeeping that needs to be done for introducing the new engine, if you may. But also covered is the debris. Now, obviously, when debris was first launched, it was ugly, pixely, too much of it, didn't quite make sense. The patch was now you don't see it, it's not there, but you feel it and you spin and you don't see it. So the third patch looks like somewhere in the middle.
Sure.
It's there, you can see it, it's not too much, hopefully it's not too pixely. Yeah, so we'll see. But I've liked the addition of debris because iRacing's always been such a repetitive sim, especially.
Yeah, I think it's quite. I was racing yesterday at Jerez, and obviously there's a lot of gravel around that track. And yeah, I do find it quite interesting when you see sort of, oh, someone just went off there. And you see it like scattered all over the circuit. Seemed to clean up very quickly though, a bit too quickly.
Yeah, you're just not seeing it. That's what this is going to hopefully.
Okay. So is it almost like like the system where it's like, no one's seen this, we're going to clear it now, and then.
No, you just wouldn't see it. It would be there.
Okay.
So it won't be clearing up. It's been a meh. I hate this new flag. I don't mind the addition of a flag, but the fact it's yellow by nature. So I've always had my flags outside my, like, at the tippity top of my peripheral. So I can see them, but I don't look at them. They've added a yellow flag.
Sure.
That's all I see. In my corner of my eye, a yellow flag.
What colour would you like it to be?
I delete it for all I care. I don't need to know there's sand on the exit of the next corner.
Sure.
I come around the corner, I'm like, what was you warning me for? It's like, 7 bits of sand there. All right, thanks. That's a busy flag, man.
Yeah.
Really busy flag, man.
Teague pointing out that that is the real life colour, but
Yeah, but every other lap at 3 corners,
yeah,
that guy would have the arm would fall off. And we're not talking about someone rejoining the track and bringing stones on. We're saying he just tracked out an inch too far. Yeah. Let's say I do 7 hours of racing. I see the flag 60, 70 times.
Yeah.
It's insane. And yeah, I say I just don't like I just like it gone. Or I'm going to have to bring my flag out of my outside peripheral because it's yellow. I can't, it's too far for me to discern that it's not all yellow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll see. I need to just stop lifting for yellows.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'll teach them by killing your iRacing. They're not lifting for yellows, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll teach iRacing a lesson. Well, I think that's all the sim racing news covered. So let's talk about Apex Racing Team. We have already discussed a little bit about R1, so do make sure to tune into that tomorrow. But Dan Amor has been promoted from the academy to the team. Dan must be the youngest driver in the team. I think he's only about 15 years old. And yeah, he's a very talented driver. I think he'll be going for IndyCar Pro later this year, I believe.
It makes sense. He likes the prototypes, downforce.
Yeah, single seaters. He was racing in Sebring.
Very fast kid.
Very, very talented. I can't remember if he does real life racing as well. I don't think he does, but probably done some karting before. But yeah, and a nice kid as well. To be fair, he's very well mannered whenever I've chatted to him before. So yeah, that will be very good for the team. Welcome to Dan. In PECC GB, obviously that's the big one. Forget PECC. It was a 1-2-3 for Apex in race 1. I think it was Luke who managed to get the pole position, and he finished ahead of Pete and Leo. But race 2 wasn't so good, as has been the case for this season.
It's a reverse grid, reverse top.
Reverse top 6, which doesn't sound like that much, but man, our race 2s. Luke was right behind. So Seb actually had a bad round 1. So Seb was racing from Marcus Solheim's rig, I believe. So
Downstairs?
No, in wherever Marcus lives in Denmark, I think.
Did Marcus sabotage it?
He got told to. I don't know if he actually did.
I'll just loosen this brake pedal.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell. So yeah, he was a little bit compromised. So I think he finished like 5th or something in race 1, or maybe 4th. So Luke, who was catching him in the championship, gained some points there. Fortunately, race 2, Seb stayed ahead. Luke made a mistake on the penultimate lap, lost a couple of places. So Seb's lead is still very good with 2 rounds to go. It's unlikely. Luke will almost certainly finish 2nd. We've still got 3rd and 4th with Leo and Pete as well. Pete's computer died, I think. That ruled him out
race
of
2, I
race 2.
assume.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a race 2 yet.
So he's not scored points in the last 3 race 2s.
Insane.
Out of 6 race 2s, he's not scored points in 4.
Insane.
Like if it was just counted on race 1s, Pete would still have a shot at winning the title. Instead, he's got like half the points of Seb, because
I know that feeling from last year's PECC Stars, mate. I know exact feeling.
Yeah. So yeah, he's had a real tough time of it. I mean, I'm sure everyone's thinking like,
how did you get?
Okay, let's get these guys.
We should
out
cover
of the way.
ARA first, to be honest.
Let's touch out about me, who's not even representing Apex Racing. I'm representing the Beef and Dairy Network. And in that, I managed to get points. So
it's your 2nd time getting points, right?
No,
Or
I've got
3rd?
points a few times.
Oh.
Of
Of course, there's 2 races. Yeah,
2
I'm sorry.
races, yeah. This was my 4th round out of 6, maybe, that I got points. And yeah, it was going to be really slow. I was basically the slowest again, as is the case always. But I waited for mistakes. I made less mistakes with the chicane through Knockhill. So I've managed to finish out of 8 AMs 5th and 5th.
Excellent.
So I got points. I'm a solid 8th in the championship now. So
how did you
I'll
find the big curb slamming?
So the first 2 hours of driving around the track, really struggling.
Yeah.
But I got into a routine. In race 1, it's a 25-minute race. First 17 minutes, really good, making no mistakes, getting through. Not necessarily the fastest, but like really consistent. And then I just started, I think, to think, and that's when it goes wrong. And I had like a 5-second gap behind me, wasn't going to beat the guy in front of me. So you start thinking, maybe take it a little bit cautious, or you just start thinking about what you're doing, and you just lose the momentum. And it's all about rhythm.
Yep.
And then in race 2, I was made some mistakes in the early stages, but then once I had someone to try to catch, nailing it every time.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best runs I was having, lap after lap after lap, just because I had a car in front of me to try to catch. And so I was just, I'm just going to go for it. So it's a challenge, though. I actually quite enjoyed it. But that's because I benefited from it overall. So,
Gotcha, yeah.
yes. That was Knockhill.
GG's. Very tough.
In Sebring 12 Hours, we managed to get second place in GTD with Sanchez, McCohen, and Godinho. So congratulations to those guys. That's a mega result, and obviously an absolutely stacked field. Obviously, it was dry, which almost feels weird now to have a fully dry race where it's just like, okay, you're that fast, so you'll just drive at that pace and you'll stay in P2. I don't know what the whole story of the race was, but I think that's sort of what it was, where they were just a couple of hundredths slower than P1, and so you finished P2.
Was the strange sensation for us as well. It's been a long time since a long special. I think it's the first 12 or 24 since rain that hasn't rained, and it was, apart from it getting really hot, like 40 plus, which really, actually, it was probably the worst phase of our race. Our car was very quick. Our setup was very quick. None of us had tested in hotter than 38, and at 42, we actually changed the wing level on the subsequent pit because it was that bad. But yeah, I did my lap of my life in qualifying. Lap of my life. I was downstairs here just before qualifying, went home, grabbed something healthy on the way home. McDonald's. Yeah. The salad burger thing.
Yeah, not much salad in it. A lot of burger.
Yeah, jumped in, spoke to the team, was feeling confident. I didn't want to burn out. Usually I spent the morning practicing, but I was like, okay, try a different routine, just hit the track. And I'd done, it's disgusting to say, but I completed 461 laps of Sebring that week. The fastest lap was qualifying.
Do you think the conditions were just like really good?
Well, I'd practiced the conditions. I knew from emulating the different humidities and track temps and looking at the previous bit. So I knew the track temps. I had practiced a billion variations of what Q could give me and dialed in my own dock. I wasn't actually using the team dock for it wasn't based on the team dock at all. I was using my own Q dock, and I was just really, really happy. It was on lap 1 as well. So lap 2, I was smiling, but there's a couple of corners where I'm more controlled and measured. I unleashed to try.
Yeah.
And it didn't work, but it was nice to be able to do that in a 12-hour queue, to feel like, okay, I might as well, I don't think I can beat that lap, but I'll go. I know 2 corners where, sometimes it lands. But no, we struggled with split 4. We were the last car in split 4. Qualified 7th, I think. LMP2 spun, cold tyres, corner 0, last corner before the start of the race. He rejoined, wiped out the leaders of GT3, and then I sent it into 2, obviously. I was 3rd on the second lap, which, feeling rather good, but then fast forward 12 hours, we're 11th, and we didn't make any mistakes. It was just dry.
Yeah.
If someone's a 10th quicker than you, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like, they're going to lap you off the 12 hours. But yeah, I missed the rain.
Yeah,
we all did. Even the one of us that didn't really love the idea of doing it, we missed it 8 hours in because.
So I'm going to put an idea forward to you: safety cars.
Yeah, that is the bit we were missing.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the element of endurance racing in sim iRacing that's nothing like real life. Like I said, I had the pleasure of working with the Porsche guys years ago for Daytona 24. Qualifying, the car was shocking. During the day, shocking. Not in contention. When night rocked up, they were so quick, it was ridiculous. So their only strategy was be on the lead lap by night. That's it. Don't care what you do, guys. That's it. Be on the lead lap for night and manage it that way. Whatever you've got to do, pit stop strategy, fuel, whatever. And that was it. And they went on to dominate because, yeah, they weren't quick. They weren't good at all. As soon as the night rocked up, fastest car on the track. And that was their strat. And we need that. Because that strategy in iRacing doesn't work. We did have a very quick, cool temp car, way quicker than we thought. It didn't matter because 7 hours was spent in the heat. And there's no safety car to reset the race. I'd love it, but after many years of back and forth thinking, it has to be random, right?
I'm probably the #1 advocate for random safety cars on all of iRacing. I think random. There's no. I don't.
The only
care
other
if
way
there's
is like is like say 28x in 7 seconds, something like that. But I just still don't want it manipulated.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, well, the biggest reason I think it should be random is because if you have actual proper safety cars in split 1, you're going to have about 5% of them in comparison to split 28. Split 28, you're going to have a safety car every other lap.
That's a really good point.
So you can't afford to have it for those guys because it'd just be like any other IndyCar race in the official series, right?
2 laps. Say 2 laps,
Exactly.
safety car.
It just gets so boring. So yeah, I think random is the only way you can do it, in my opinion.
How random though? Because we've all got connections in iRacing.
Well, it's just like how do they do the weather, right? It's just like they should get a uranium isotope, and then by the decaying amount of that isotope,
confirm
they should base it on that.
I can definitely confirm that I have. There is the weather gets leaked a little earlier than it gets announced. That's all I can say.
But I mean, in terms of once you get into the session, you have like a percentage chance.
Sure.
But once it's in the session, that's like whatever happens with that. That's random, you know. But
yeah,
you're right in terms of someone
it
knows
has to
what
be
the
random.
weather is.
Yes, correct. The weather forecast was definitely has been accessible before it's announced.
Yeah.
That cannot happen with safety cars. It needs to be in the system, not a person.
Which, it just needs to be random. So what you'd need is, for each stint, you need a random number generator between 0 and 10, say, for obviously, a higher curve in the middle.
Yeah.
So you have, say, 5 random safety cars, and then they're just randomly assigned at different points in the race by the sim, different for every single split. And you don't know if there's going to be a safety car. There might not be a safety car for the entire race.
Exactly.
Or there might be 10. You don't know.
Tegan chat would be nice if double stinting tyres was. I mean, who would disagree with this? It's probably the biggest element we all miss because now looking after your tyres just means don't be slow.
Would you get rid of the realism aspects of it? Would you just say, yeah, I know that in real life they can change tyres and fuel simultaneously, but would you just say, I don't care? Let's just, this should be the best for us sim racers, and the best for us sim racers is that there's some strategy to it.
I wish there was more of that, where we took the best opportunity to, like tyre warmers. In real life, they're going away because of, pressure on climate change and stuff. Right? That's the sole reason. We don't have an impact on global warming inside the sim. We can keep them. It's realistic.
Could you argue, though, that's the same with V12 engines?
All right, good point. Yeah. I'm saying every now and then we can one-up real life. If they want tyre warmers, we can have them. I don't know. It's really hard. I just want more to do in an endurance, and it feels like we used to. I mean, quad stint in a Le Mans. Like, there is nothing better. Focusing just on your exits. In the corners, you underdrive like insanity because all you're focusing on is your exits onto the straights because you're going to be on these tyres for you can't swap driver.
Yeah.
Because if you're not swapping driver, if you're not taking tyres, you can't swap driver.
Yeah.
You come in, short, you're fueling, and you've gone. So if you've got 4 hours, and it was exciting, scary, because any slide, and you're like, well, 3 hours, I'm going to be feeling that.
Yeah.
But yeah, now you can change driver at any stop. You can, it's not the same. When we plan our stints, we're just like, I'm around. Like, doesn't matter. We can swap back and forth. It doesn't matter. And I miss the days of I missed telling one of my drivers at Road America.
Stop sliding, you
Yeah.
idiots.
No, I remember he was down for a double stint, and like halfway through, a quarter into his second stint, I'm like, do you think the tyres could go one more? He's like, no, dude, don't. I was like, I know, it's a long time and it's multi-class. Do you think they could? He was like, probably. I was like, okay, I'll just untick these. I miss it. I really, really miss it. It's probably my favourite thing about endurance racing that's been stolen from us.
Sure.
Because now it's been compared to a 12 hours, 12 sprint races.
Yeah.
Not one endurance. But yeah, double treating stars and safety car and rain. Now we're talking like not monsoon rain, red flag. Just the rain comes down, it damps the track. It causes
just an hour of rain. And
yeah.
A little bit of light rain. Yeah. So yeah, that was Sebring 12 hours.
That was quite a sidetrack.
Everyone did quite well. But that was a good conversation and
it
one
was.
that we do have at least once a month. But yeah,
well,
like
we're
I
passionate
said,
about it. We all
random safety cars. Yeah, I just dislike people's dismissiveness of random safety cars. It's like no. It's like, hear me out. Apex Racing League, we have a new series announced tomorrow. Was going to do it today, but I was a bit busy. So tomorrow will be that.
Wait, this is an announcement for an announcement. Sam, just tell him.
No, I can't. Well, I could easily. So I did actually think 20 minutes ago, I could just show them the trailer, but I won't. Tune in tomorrow. I think we might post the trailer on the YouTube channel actually, and it's I quite like the trailer. It's a unique car that isn't used a whole lot by us, at least.
What can I guess? Or
you can guess, and we'll see if there's any inflection in my face. I'm not going to give a response. I'm just going to look blankly at you, and you can guess if...
TCR. Oh, he's cold.
Want to guess anything else?
SFL. And my third guess... No way. No, because... NASCAR. Oh, he lips moved. I actually don't know.
So let's see if anyone can get it from that.
Yeah, it sounds like announcement tomorrow. Yeah, we're doing triple multi-class. You could be in the TCR.
Yeah,
the
I
SFL.
haven't decided yet. That's just,
the NASCAR.
that sounds good. Down for that. So Apex Racing TV, we got a couple of clips. This was a good race on Monday, 75-minute race. I covered it solo again, but it was all right. It could have been worse races. So Benjamin Frigerio managed to get underneath. Of course, tricky to overtake in the LMP2s. And this was for the win in the LMP2 Pros.
Can Graf get on the power earlier?
It was a nice exit from Frigerio.
Looks good. He's got his nose ahead pretty much for the first time in this battle. And the outside line going into this right-hander is really, really useful.
From his traction falls off on the outside lane here. Oh!
Between the two of them, but he gets it done anyway. Frigerio leads this race. And you're not going to see a much better move than that this season.
Yeah, nice.
However, a few laps later, I'd like to get your opinion on this.
Oh, I'll give it.
It is. Oh.
So this was the re-overtake.
Benjamin Frigerio has had an issue, and here it was.
Down
the inside.
I mean, I knew what was going to happen. Go back.
Apologise. He was a long way back here, Graf. Now, is this on? He gets alongside. I think that's all right from Graf.
I mean, he shows all the signs of overtaking, but then ends up just poking the nose. It's not committal. And his line on exit's awful. So I don't love it. I mean, he should have just gone for it and committed enough to be fully along cut and almost muscled the apex. But he was like, oh, I'm lunging, but I'm just going to poke an inch. And then on the exit, I'm going to then push the exit and track out. So, yeah, Simon Graf penalty.
He got a penalty. Not my decision. But I think when looking back at it, I think it's fair. He was a long way back, and he was slightly wider than what he could have been. He wasn't quite skimming the curb. He left a few inches, and I think that was enough to warrant a penalty. So he lost the race win. In the end, it was Graf's teammate who won. I think it was Siegman who won instead. Paul Busby was watching along, obviously from Effect, who Progerio is driving for, and he had some choice words for me. He basically said that. Well, I suggested that I needed David alongside me to counter my bad opinions.
Did he agree?
Yes.
Yes. I like the way you said that.
What was it that he exactly said? Actually,
Oh my god.
I can't see the chat back, but yeah, it was funny. But yeah, Paul was quite upset at the time. So and his mood wasn't made better by me saying, you know what, Paul? I don't think it's a penalty. That is Apex Racing TV. Anything else you wanted to talk about? I was concerned this would be a half-hour podcast, but we've been going for over an hour.
No, I mean, we just like to chat, right? We're going to spend the next hour talking about food off stream, so.
Yeah, there's big decisions to come up.
Yep. No. Yeah, I mean, let's see. We covered the F1 games for a long time now. We'll see. We have to remember we're covering it from the angle from sim racers. Will it appeal to us? Will it be any good for us? Will it work with our expensive equipment very well? Or will it be like the last year's version? So we shall see. I mean, I get it. In the shareholders meeting, we're forgotten because we account for absolutely nothing.
It would just be nice though, to have features, like even if the actual base game was a bit rubbish, just to build the in-depth side of it, you know?
Sure.
And to build the career and...
Well, yeah, I thought it was a miss with their F1 manager game. Why a separate game?
Yeah, it should all be...
Guys, come on, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I'm still hopeful. I've said this every year. It's never going to happen. Same with Gran Turismo. Same with F1. I wish they released a branch of seriousness without the yearly update of a game. And yeah, you have to race from cockpit cam, GT and F1. I'm looking at you. And the online bit was taken serious. No, not a massive dedication. It doesn't have to be updated as much as their F1 titles. I would just love to see them take it serious on the PC side. But I don't know why they would. There's no money in it.
A few years ago, there was an article, and I'm not going to be able to find it, but it was like how there was going to be they were going to contact. I don't know who the developers were, but it was like iRacing, or it was maybe the Assetto Corsa. Maybe it was Assetto Corsa developers.
Got Kunos.
Yeah, and they were going to develop an actual F1 simulator again. One would be for console and be more arcadian, and then one would be a pure simulator.
That's
one.
what I want.
But I think that was like 4 years ago or something. And I don't remember if very little was ever said about it. It may have just been that there was an agreement between the two, but it was never actually established what they were going to make.
Because our Factor Pro was an F1 simulator from Ferrari, I think. That's how it started.
That's what the thing that all the F1 teams used, right?
Yeah.
Was R Factor Pro.
R Factor Pro, yeah. Yeah, so that's why LMU feels so good, right? Because it's the heritage.
Yeah. Well, I think that's everything from us. Of course, do tune into the broadcast later on. We've got Apex Racing League GT3 trophy from Donington.
Ooh.
2 races on that one, and that will be the third final round of the season. I forgot to do any sponsors actually for this. I don't think there's really that much. Was there any new announcements? I sort of did the ARL
It's
thing.
sponsored by an ARL announcement that comes tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could do better. Check out apexracingsim.com.
Yes.
Check out Apex Racing Academy, apexracingac.com, and subscribe to the channel. Do all that good stuff.
Yeah. Thanks all.
Goodbye.